All right, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about my travel kit. This comes from experience, and I'm sure every one of you value the fact that you have the ability to take a vacation. You want to feel good on vacation. I travel 5 to 10 countries every year, whether it's for research, business, or a pleasure. And I like to have a good time, and I like to feel good. But in my past experience, I've seen myself running to the washroom, barely make it, not sleeping good at night, having issues with digestions, or worse is getting a cold or a flu or coming back with a cold or a flu. How good is that for vacation? And I've seen myself with infection in my toes. I've been there, done it all. So here's my kit, and I'll explain you why very easy. The only product I use now is Nature Sunshines because I like the integrity of the product. And first of all, I've tried a slew of other products and some of them just don't work. So I know exactly what's in it. Number one products I travel with, this is for my wife because I have a very nervous wife that doesn't like to fly. So instead of taking 2 or 3 glasses of wine, I give her magnesium. It's really good for anxiety. It reduces stress. And when you have anxiety and stress, your digestions, and on top of that, you're not eliminating effectively. This will help you eliminate effectively, and it makes it a much easier travel time with my wife because there's no point arriving to our destination and she's exhausted from the stress, or especially if there's turbulence. Next product, I've been a big fan of this since traveling, working for the airlines. I don't think it's something you should use every day. I'm a big fan for melatonin, for jet lag. I'm sure some of you have experienced the first 2 or 3 days, you're just exhausted at your vacation because there's a 2-hour difference, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So on the first day, I like to take melatonin about 2 hours prior my natural bedtime. Sometimes I'll take 2, but next day I wake up fresh, I reset my biological clock, and I move on about my vacation or business week. When I come back, especially when I travel to Europe, I think it's probably one of my favorite supplements to use because if I don't use it, it's going to take me 2, sometimes 3 weeks to adjust back my biological clock to New Brunswick time. So I take this the first 2 nights, I get back into my schedule, and within 3 days, I'm back at my pace. So melatonin is absolutely a wonderful product. Probiotics, we all heard, everybody's talking about them, but I'm a true believer of using them a couple of weeks prior travel. I've had too many experiences back in the days that you're either in the bus, you're stuck somewhere, and you barely cannot make it to the washroom because you're exposed to different bacteria. It's absolutely amazing for your gut flora, your microbiome, and your immune system. But what I like it the most, that it prevents me from having to chase the washroom 10 or 15 times a day. That's not a great way to have fun at the beach, I can guarantee you this. So I start taking it about 3 to 4 weeks prior, and I bring it with me on vacation because I'd rather use this than running at the pharmacy trying to get antibiotics, which will destroy everything, and I'm totally against that. Probiotics. And they have a broad spectrum of probiotics in the Nature Sunshine, which makes it even more effective. Digestive enzymes. And I'm sure some of you will relate. I'm a big fan of trying new foods. I never eat junk food, but if I go to a different country, I want to explore their traditional ways of eating, interact with nature, eat different spice, different recipes, and sometimes some of these foods might not cope with my digestion. And I've seen myself, having a great meal, and after that you're tossing around all night because you have a hard time digesting the food. So I like to bring these as a backup because if I feel after we leave or while we're having the dish that my digestion is not going to be up a par, I take 2 or 3 of these and I feel like a champion within an hour to 2 hours after. Big reliever. SilverGuard. This was introduced to me by a good friend of mine, Deborah, and I have to say it's in my luggage everywhere I go. Sometimes you're sitting on a flight and you have someone you're exposed to sitting beside you that has the cold, the flu, they're coughing, the air. By the time you arrive to your destination, whether it's placebo or not, you start feeling your throat is kind of sore. I don't take any chance. I always rinse my mouth with this, and it's one of my best friends if you have early onset of ear infection. You put I like to put 2 or 3 drops in my ears, keep my head like this for 4 or 5 minutes, and do the same. And absolutely fantastic. And the last one, because I'm a big fan of interacting with the nature, whether it's going in the jungle, climbing mountains, hanging out at the beach. I'm fairly active. I bicycle a lot too, so if I fall, I scratch. This happened before. It's probably one of my best friends also to prevent infection. So if there's a cut, I'll use it on it. It's a fantastic product. And you'd be surprised because hydrogen peroxide, I used to believe was available easily in many pharmacies in different countries. Not so. So you can get it at your local pharmacy. It's in my toolkit to travel. So there you go. I'm hoping you can learn from this. This cool toolkit comes hands-on from traveling experience. And some of you are watching me right now, and I'm sure that you can relate. You've been there. And the days are over for me to run or chase the washroom all day long. So this is my travel kit. Thank you for following.